The world is never going to be the same again.
I'm worried about the world.
The mass chaos and crises that there was in the world, it's going to be just like that now.
This is not an accident.
How long is it going to last? Longer than even for those of you that have some cash in the bank, way past your cash reserves.
Out of 100 people, 4 will get the message.
This thing isn't going to be over in a few weeks. This thing isn't going to be over in a few months.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As guys, over the past couple years, we have been seeing the rapid collapse of the US dollar. This has happened at an accelerated rate ever since Richard Nixon took the US dollar off the gold standard and we went into the petrodollar system. But right now, this is a volatile and critical time for the US dollar. First, before anything else, I have to say that right now I believe the US dollar, the DXY, is going through a Wyckoff distribution. And for those of you that don't understand, let me scroll down and show you what exactly I'm referring to. This is the graph of what I believe is playing out with the US dollar. And I'm going to show you where I believe we are. Dun, 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 dun. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, almost like clockwork, the DXY has been following this exact same pattern. We see here BC, BC, AR, AR, ST, ST. Then we rise all the way to UT. We saw here in phase B the correction as well. And currently, I believe we're in phase C, the UTAD test. That means that we need to go into phase D. And I think we're going to be approaching that moment shortly. That is when the US dollar is going to be going down in value. Meaning, risk assets, specifically stocks and crypto, should be rising. And I do expect our altcoin season to commence. My friends, we've been frustrated for an extremely long period of time. But right now, I believe we are about to get what we deserve. Here, we can see that altcoins are showing great strength. This is posted by Sheldon the Sniper. And as everything has been going out, everything has been playing out in real time. We see our altcoins in the crypto market responding with health, slow and gradual growth. Ladies and gentlemen, the other day, we saw this headline that Saudi Arabia considers accepting the yuan instead of the dollar for Chinese oil sales. If this is true, and it's not confirmed yet, I have to add, but if this ends up happening, the petrodollar system as we know it has died. The United States will collapse. The US dollar is going down the drain. And that seems to be playing out like the chart I just showed you. I don't think this announcement at this specific moment in time is an accident, my friends. This right here, compounded with the rumor that Saudi Arabia does not want to meet with the president, is something we should all be concerned about. The United States' dominance on the global playing field is weakening, and it's something we cannot ignore. In addition, the other piece of breaking news today from the Wall Street Journal, the Fed raised interest rates by 25 points for the first time since 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to say, personally speaking, I am shocked they had the balls to do this. Truly, I saw Janet Yellen stating inflation will be uncomfortably high for the next 12 months. In addition, we will be seeing a lot of other things playing out, specifically with this health crisis continuing in China. with this invasion accelerating, tensions rising. But you know what's crazy? When markets saw this announcement, they went bullish. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to stress again, in my personal opinion, I did not believe that they had the balls to raise rates, but they did. Just a little bit though. It was a mild increase. A lot of people thought 50 or maybe even 100 points could be coming. 25, that allows for room and time to see markets continue to grow. That was almost a non-move at all. But here I have to point this out. What happens to the stock market when the Fed raises interest rates? Here, historically, stocks have tended to move higher after the Federal Reserve raises rates. And here today, the same thing has occurred. Bravo. Now, while we sit here and figure out what the hell is going to happen next, I have to say this. Ladies and gentlemen, they may continue to raise rates maybe one or two more times, but they think and they say that it's going to rise 6 times within the next year to 18 months. I doubt it. The reason is that would completely destroy people's wealth. We have elections coming. That does not seem likely to me. That does not seem likely to me. You do not want to be holding the bag of a financial crisis going into elections. That, my friends, would be cataclysmic for the people currently in power. And it just makes sense that it will play out that way. Regardless, inflation is still outpacing any increase in interest rates. This is what's important to note. We have to keep seeing what's going to happen next. But if this is any indication, then we can expect more inflation and the destruction of the US dollar. Europe's largest energy traders have called on governments and central banks to provide emergency assistance to avoid a cash crunch. This right here is interesting. We're headed into a liquidity crisis. And just FYI, XRP was built to be a liquidity solution. Always just keep that in the back of your minds. David Schwartz the other day stated XRP is a technology that can help settle in 3 seconds. A neutral bridge asset. The tech exists, but the banks and incumbents, they want to stay for innovation. So do regulators, specifically the SEC. But here, today, we saw Congress, specifically Darren Soto, Tom Emmer, Warren Davidson, and other Congress people, send a letter to the SEC, being pretty harsh on them actually, regarding the SEC's overburdensome crypto information seeking process. We have pro-crypto regulators in Congress right now. And ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest things I can say to all of you is vote in people during these midterms that are pro-crypto and can get the ball rolling. We need crypto innovation to help keep up on the global playing field. And this is one of the biggest ways we can act. I can't stress this enough. Congress, at least certain members of Congress, are tired of the SEC's shit. And the issue is that there are practical people with practical solutions that keep talking to Gary Gensler about how things can thrive. But he tends to not listen. Here is a conversation between Gary Gensler and someone trying to inform him of why the SEC stance on crypto is idiotic, truly. And then I want you to pay attention to Gary Gensler's body language towards the end. He seems dismissive of the advice and conversations this individual is trying to have. And that's what frustrates me the most.
To the SEC's regulation of digital assets, I want to urge the SEC to consider The proposal I offered by way of a public rulemaking proposal for the SEC to open public comment with respect to digital asset regulation. Doesn't commit the SEC to doing anything, but my digital asset regulation Genesis block proposal would offer the commission the collective wisdom of crypto lawyers, digital asset lawyers who've been working diligently on these issues. We encountered that nuance in our IAC hearing on this. I encounter it in my securities law regulation course. Look, on the one hand, it's ridiculous for the 33 Act to treat miners and node operators as underwriters, or to apply cookie-cutter proxy rules to the voting of governance tokens in a DeFi protocol. On the other hand, I think a lot of people in the digital asset and crypto communities would love to see standardized disclosure about tokenomics and about auditing of smart contracts in a particular project. I think the digital asset regulation Genesis block proposal can help the SEC to achieve that and ultimately help digital asset owners like me rather than threaten the value of their interests with over-application of the Howey test. And so I hope that my proposal will get sincere consideration. Thank you again. I will miss all of you. I will still heckle the IEC from the sidelines. Just kidding. But I will be here. I will be writing in some comment letters, and I won't be far. So I hope you will all stay close and stay in touch.
Can I just,
Please.
Chris, Paul and JW, I hope that you're not going to go that far away, and we can only help you a long and healthy life, JW, because your input, even if sometimes we disagree, I have found your input, and I look forward to hearing more, is always informs the debate and is it's thoughtful, and so keep coming to us with the issue.
And ladies and gentlemen, the most frustrating part about Gary Gensler is that he is funded by taxpayers. In addition, guys, it took Congress 5 months to agree to $600 stimulus checks. I know you all remember. But 8 hours to send $14 billion to another country and give themselves a 21% pay raise. Again, we pay these people. In times of crisis, they do not help us. When it comes to investor protections, they harm us. They are the 1%. They are the people that make up the red tape, that keep the middle class suppressed. They're the people that keep us from climbing up the ladder. But here's one thing, guys. We're invested in one asset that, in my personal opinion, is so powerful that will be our one-way ticket out of the struggle. Here today, Ripple hired Michael Warren. He's been appointed to Ripple's board of directors, another person tied to the US government. Here, he was part of the Obama administration and also part of the Clinton administration, and he was executive director on the National Economic Council and served in the office of the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Labor. Just a gentle reminder as well, Rosie Rios has her name on all the damn money on the planet. J.P. Morgan, legend Sandy O'Connor, was a chair of the Federal Reserve Board of Alternative Reference Rate Committees. And she was also sponsored by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. People stop and listen to Sandy O'Connor. Craig Phillips was also counselor to the Secretary of the Treasury, Steve Mnuchin, and helped develop Executive Order 13772 with Ripple in it. Ladies and gentlemen, I say all that to let all of you know that Ripple continues to onboard new people that are absolute powerhouses. Ripple has the best team in the crypto space, and it's not even close. We add more people every single day in the midst of getting sued by the SEC, and that's how little concern all of these powerhouse individuals have. No coincidence, my friends. We're going to make it to the other side. We will become the new 1%. And it's only a matter of time. I think that time is fast approaching. I remember saying the other day I thought altcoin season was confirmed. And here, presenting to all of you the US dollar's collapse, as well as Congress's and Ripple's progress. I still believe that to be the case. Time settles all arguments, my friends. But I think we're going to end up being correct. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. If you're not bullish by now, you're just not getting it, my friends. This is the best piece of news and the best piece of information I've had to date. While economics are thoroughly broken, we own the thing that'll put it back together. Never forget that. As always, guys, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
I get 24 hours a day just like Bill Gates. I get 24 hours a day just like Beyonce and Jay-Z. You get 24 hours a day, ladies and gentlemen. What do you do with your 24 hours? You need to get more information. In our coaching program, all we do is drop content nonstop. And people are like, wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that. See, you don't even know what you don't know. How did you let me come from behind and clip you? Do you guys know the studies show the better we look, the more money we make? Which means your website should pass the eyeball test. Your truck should pass the eyeball test. Your people should pass the eyeball test. You should pass the eyeball test. Everybody in this room has a promised land somewhere, but you can't be stuck on the city you like. You got to hear God and go to your promised land. Your promised land might be Utah. Your promised land might be Minnesota. Your promised land might be Wyoming. Hear me clearly. You better use your money to get information and access, and you better be flexible because a real shark is flexible. Can we stop fronting and get real about this thing? And if I can do it, you can do it. I knew nothing about life. I knew nothing about business, but I had the right mindset, and I learned it through sports. And y'all got to hear my story so you understand. I didn't even start on my college basketball team. I came off the bench. At the University of Minnesota, I came off the bench. But in my mind, you can bring me off the bench, but I'm an NBA ball player when you get through talking. When you get through, I'm an NBA ball player. And that's why I would walk around and say, you can't check me. You can't check me. You can't check me. If I was you, I would walk around every day and say, I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I declare it right now. I'm worth millions. I'm worth millions. I will receive my salary right now, but I won't accept it as my value. So whatever you receive right now, receive it, but don't you accept it as your value. Because there's more out here for you if you change your mindset.